We've got a wide array of driver sets from SUNEX Tools. Let's have a closer look. I can't speak for you, but when I think of SUNEX Tools, what typically comes to mind are sockets, bits, and even shop equipment. As I was mentioning in the intro, when I think of SUNEX Tools, I typically think of bits, sockets, universal sockets, shallow sockets, mid sockets, everything to do with ratchets, sockets, bits, drivers in that sense, as far as what would go on the end of an extension, let's say, or on an impact wrench. I don't really think of screwdrivers, but SUNEX has those too, so let's take a closer look. Let's start out first with this 7-piece low-profile diamond-coated screwdriver set. Take my knife here. And what's cool is it's not just a screwdriver set, but also you get them in a cool foam tray as well. So listen, let's deal with this right now. Some of you are going to say that takes up too much real estate. That's just a waste of space in a toolbox, blah, 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 blah. I get it. I absolutely get it. So throw away the foam if you don't like it. I'm telling you, these are cheap enough. You're still getting a good set of drivers, I think. Let's take a look at them. But if you like the foam trays, it's a great way to just be organized out of the gate, especially on something like this, that typically your typical organizers are not going to organize these well. They're going to kind of fall around or not be very conducive to the kind of the structure of these. But here's the cool thing about this. They say they're diamond coated tips, and they are. In fact, you can see them quite well. So that's going to aid in the grip of these. And look at how low profile they are. These are the standard or the straight slot, if you will. Get them mixed up already. Let's take a look here at a Phillips. So there's a P0 or a PH0. Let's go all the way up to a number 2. That's your typical. So now when you got to get between that windshield and the dash or wherever you're finding those very shallow places where you got to back those screws out, now you've got something to do that. You got a complete set here from Phillips number 3 all the way down to a PH0, and then even in the standard slot, 5/16, quarter, and 3/16. Now, you can pick up this set for $23. So again, with the foam case, with it already labeled so you can easily find what you're looking for, or take it out of the case and organize it how you want to. That's cheap enough for that set to be beneficial for about anybody. By the way, that's a specific knife made by Almar for really for like paramedic emergency use. So that's actually a seatbelt cutter. And so you can hook that on packages as well and be able to cut, or you can flip it open. Got a serrated edge and a knife edge. Anyways, pretty cool knife. I saw this at the ISN show and just had to have it. Now we've got a 7-piece precision screwdriver set. Take care of that tape. Oh, sharp knife. And same thing with this. We get the foam tray. You don't like it? Throw it away. Do whatever you want to with it. Hey, you know what? If you want to, why don't you let us know what you organize with in your drawers? But precision screwdrivers. So rather than the low profiles, now we get everything from a PH00, X2, times 2, 3/8. Anyway, real small ones, rotating knob here on the top. So put your finger on there and be able to rotate it if you need to. 1/8" standard. There's your Phillips. 3/32 standard. So all the sizes you need for your precision stuff, even down to the even smaller standard. And then there's even a Phillips number 1 and another 1/16 straight or slotted. So this is the SXPSD7, and this kit we saw anywhere from $18 to $25 depending on where you buy it. But again, a very inexpensive set with a foam tray already organized for you. Throw that in your drawer and then it's there when you need it. And this is the SX CSDS8. So this is an 8-piece screwdriver set. We get Phillips and we get standard or straight. I've always called them straight slot, whatever you want to call them. A blade screwdriver, whatever. For 5/16 by 6 inch. Kind of a tri-lobe design, but it's more than 3 lobes there. But still has kind of that, no, it's more of a, yeah, there's 6 lobes there. Very comfortable in the hand, rubber overcoating. Lifetime guarantee on all these, by the way. You got a label right there, laser etched on the screwdriver as well. Also magnetic tip on these. See there, good magnet on these. Another straight slot or standard. A shorty Phillips, number 2. Nice looking tips on these, by the way. Of course, I can shake that off if I want to, but it's got decent holding power on there. Phillips number 1, 3-inch, and then all the way up to a Phillips number 3, the 6-inch, and a 4-inch number 2. So that's pretty much your standard there. Love to see a longer number 2, but I'm sure that they make that in another kit. In fact, we may have that coming up here shortly. And then even the stubby screwdriver in the standard as well, or slotted. And this set we saw anywhere between like $32 and $43, depending on where you get it. We'll have links in the description for each of these if you're interested in them. But again, the price may vary depending on where you get them. Again, the nice EVA foam set, already labeled. You can throw that in the drawer or throw them in whatever organizer you like, whether you want to get an Ernst organizer or the, you know, all of the different organizers that are out there to organize it how you want to. This is an 8-piece Torx set. Rinse and repeat. EVA foam set, labeled, everything. The SXTSD8. Now, pricing on this is going to run you about $29 or about $30 on this. Again, like I mentioned, foam tray. Throw it in your toolbox. You have everything from a T8 all the way up to a T40. And let's see if we have any skips. There's the 8, there's the 10, there's a 15, 20, 25, 27, no skips, 30, and the 40. So we have all of them here in one set, that 8-piece set, again, for $30 with the foam tray. That's really hard to beat. Yep, still magnetic tip on these as well, even on the Torx. Very nice to have. More and more Torx we're seeing on vehicles. Let's move on to the next one. Now we're getting into the good stuff. This is a 12-piece magnetic screwdriver set. Well, you would think I would learn to cut this tape. Same deal again. EVA foam tray, ready to go. Put it in your toolbox or throw them in your favorite organizer. I feel like I'm repeating myself every time because I am. Longer screwdriver here. You have a 3/8 by 12-inch on the large blade, or let's just face it, that's a pry bar, right? We get it. And then, of course, an 8-inch, got a 6-inch and the 5/16, and then down to your standard 4-inch by 1/4, and then even down to the stubby and down to a 3/16 and a 3-inch. So nothing really small, but again, if you've got your other set, your other precision set, then you'll be covered. And then on the Phillips, we start with the stubby. That's the Phillips number 2, the 1/2-inch. Again, all of these are going to be magnetic tips. Be able to hold those quite well as good grip as well on all of these. And then a Phillips number 1 in a 3-inch, number 2 in a 4-inch, pretty much your standard screwdriver there. And then here's our longer one, like I was talking about. I would love to have seen in the other kit, but I get it. You got to stop the kit somewhere. So here on the 12-piece, we're getting that longer 8-inch Phillips number 2. That's a big go-to a lot of times to be able to reach those fasteners in those places, or just to make it easier to reach those fasteners. Then a number 3 here in the 6-inch, and number 4 in the 8-inch. I think I'd rather see that in a number 3. Rarely are you seeing the big number 4s. So I'd like to see even that longer one in the number 3, but that's not a big deal. That's very rare circumstances we're using that. That's probably going to be more of a lineup bar than it is anything else. Like this one's a pry bar, and this one's a lineup bar. We all know that. Now this kit, this is the 12-piece kit. It's the SXCSDS12, And this is going to run you $57 for the kit. And then let's round this out with the Mac Daddy kit. By the way, I wanted to mention, any of you paramedics out there that work with oxygen bottles, that's what that's for right there. That will actually turn on your valve, turn off your valve on your oxygen bottles. So just a little tip for you. Really cool knife, by the way. Again, lifetime warranty on all these. So here's our 20-piece set. Now we're going all the way down to the small Phillips Zero. And of course, we have our stubbies and our Phillips and our straight or our standard. And then we even have Torx in this setup as well. So we have straight slide all the way up to an 8-inch in the number 3. We have Phillips all the way up to a Phillips number 3 at 6 inches. Again, I think that's as big as we need to go. I would say I always like to see the long Phillips number 2 in about any set, because I think that's a lot of times people's go-to, because when you're grabbing a Phillips, you're not sure whether you need it long or not. I like to grab that long one, or if it's questionable at all. So I'd love to see a long Phillips in here, but still, I understand. You got to stop your set somewhere. But anyway, so we get all your standard straight slide or standard slotted screwdrivers and your Phillips all the way up to number 3. And we even get Torx from your T10 all the way up to your T30. So a lot of your common sizes there, no skips there either. So you have your 27 in there. So 10, 15, 20, 25, 27, and your 30. Now this set is going to cost you $65 for the set, only a few bucks more than the 12-piece. And again, you already get it already organized, ready to go. There it is. Let us know what you think about these sets. There's 6 different sets down to your precision screwdrivers and your precision offset screwdrivers, or your diamond coated tips, whatever you want to call those over there, low profile, all the way up to your common drivers. Again, throw these in the drawer and you've got a place already organized and ready to go. Highly recommend something like this for beginner mechanics, because it takes the thought process out of having to figure out how to organize your drawers. Also takes the thought process out of what organizers do I buy, how do I set it up, and so forth. There you have it, 6 different sets of drivers from SUNEX Tools, from the 20-piece set all the way down to the 7-piece precision sets and the 7-piece low profile. Check them out for yourselves. Great prices on all these. Listen, we're a fan of the foam until you're not a fan of the foam. And when you're not a fan of the foam trays, then great. Don't be a fan of the foam trays. Get your own organizers and organize them how you want to. But if you hate our guts for even mentioning that we think foam trays are a good idea, then definitely let us know in the comments what you think. Hey, you know what? If you want to, why don't you let us know what you organize with in your drawers? We already mentioned pricing, everything from 20-something bucks all the way up to $65 for these sets. Keep track of us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and even TikTok. And if you don't mind, hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And by all means, if you hated our video, give us a thumbs down, but let us know in the comments why. Have a great day and keep smiling.